Hi, I'm Steve Boston, and I'm a producer and a documentarian. And I wanted to do this short video because this is a video for a contribution of ideas for a new political party called the Party of Independence or the Party of the Independents. Because a group of us believes, among many others, that in order to fix many of our problems in this country, uh, we have to have many things. But one of the main things is we have to have campaign reform. And what is campaign reform? Campaign reform is there's so much money being spent on elections that it's outrageous. John Jay, one of the original founding fathers, once said, or was attributed that he once said, is that those who own the country should run it. I'm not sure if he said that, but if he did, even back then, there was an idea that the wealthy should run the country. And now, maybe it's not said, but it's literal now. The billionaires, the billionaire class, and $1 billion and even $1 trillion corporations own and run the country. They spend many, many millions of dollars on campaigns. For instance, from what I understand, President Trump received $250 million from Mrs. Adelson for a campaign contribution. That went to a super PAC, not to him directly because that's illegal. But any congressman or senator or president can have a super PAC. And in Citizens United, it was passed many years ago, 20 years or so ago, that said that basically a corporation is a person. A corporation has the freedom of speech. Well, that's outrageous. People inside a corporation individually have freedom of speech, but a corporation should not be allowed to donate unlimited money to a super PAC campaign. Individuals can only contribute, I think it's up to $5,000 to their own political action committee, but super PACs is unlimited. So billions of dollars can be spent theoretically on one campaign, many hundreds of millions of dollars. If that's not owning a candidate, I don't know what is. So we must have campaign reform and reverse Citizens United to go back to only individuals can contribute to a campaign. So we're either going to have a democracy or we're going to have what's called an oligarchy, where it's just a small amount of people that run and own the country. Even though an illusion that we have approximately 535 members of Congress, Senate, and the House, it's an illusion that it's a democracy because these candidates are basically bought and paid for, and they're forced into running a campaign to raise enough money as they can because from the research I've done, 90% of those who raise the most money in a campaign win. So it's really a campaign to see who's going to raise the most money because that will be the winner. This has to end. How do we begin to deal with all the problems in this country if the politicians are basically bought by big money who has their own agenda? So they'll get out a whole lot more than what they put in or contribute because the laws are changed to their favor. Now, I have an idea. This is one of the ideas contributing to this party. It's called the Party of Independence, Party of the Independents, is that this is an open tent, from what I understand, an open tent party for everyone, Republican, Democrat, Independent. 45% of the nation calls themselves independent, and many of those might lean Democrat or might lean Republican, but they're independent, so they far outweigh any individual. The Democrats are 27%, the Republicans are about 27%. So, there's a massive amount of people that can be rallied together to really change this country. And one of the ideas for campaign reform is that, let's say, in 2024, let's pick a state, North Carolina, had about 5 million people who voted in the presidential election. If each of those 5 million people contributed $10 to the state's, let's say, election campaign, you'd have 55 million. And of that 55 million, you're going to have, within a 4-year period, 2 congressional races, maybe 1 Senate race and a presidential race. Those can be the money can be evenly divided to the congressional races and Senate race and presidential race on a sliding scale from that 56 million, which would cap the amount of money that a primary candidate who wins the primary election can use toward a campaign. And that would limit it would limit the amount of money that which would be spent. And anyone, a baker, a teacher, a laborer, a professor, a waiter, anyone should be able to run for Congress without the burden of having to sell their soul to the devil and try to raise millions of dollars. And this can't be done, people, if we really understand the system. And I think most people, well, maybe in the past have said, it's the way it is. It is an apathy because money has bought our system. It feels like we feel kind of powerless involved in that. But if you had, let's say, a congressional campaign in North Carolina, New Jersey, Ohio, whatever, anyone could run. You could have a series of town halls in the different counties. You could even do Zoom calls, but you could also have, let's say, a lottery where 5,000 people who wanted to participate can volunteer to listen to and to analyze and to make a decision on whether, let's say, 15 candidates who they liked. And you could start a process of weaning out the candidates till you get to a point where they earn the right to have some of that campaign money that's been collected by the state. So that's just an idea. There are many ideas, and this is one idea that I'm contributing to this party. If we don't make changes, if we don't make changes, how are we going to have any kind of a affordable healthcare system for everybody? It's just unaffordable. Car insurance is unaffordable. Property insurance is unaffordable. It's going up and up. Inflation is high, and it's probably going to get higher. The government is spending out of control nearly $40 trillion in debt. That's about $1.4 trillion at the current rate in interest payments per year. That's ridiculous. So we've got to make changes, and it can be done. We have to do it now. And we also have to add other ideas I'll discuss that I want to contribute are an element of a direct democracy into our system. We have a republic. We have representation. We vote for representatives, but that's a whole nother topic I'll get into later. And we also have to have term limits. If we can fix term limits for, let's say, one and done or 12-year max and done, and campaign reform, we can take a lot of the corruption out of the game. And we the people can contribute. We the people can participate. And you could say, take our country back. It's gotten way out of hand. We're going to war without even ever voting on it. One person can make a decision to go invade another country, and what do we have to say? This is not right, people. We need to make changes. So thank you for listening and watching. You can always comment below, and we'd love to hear your comments and your ideas about what you think a new political party, some ideas for it. You can be Republican, Democrat, Independent, Libertarian, Green, nothing. But we also would love to have divergent views so we can learn from each other. This is not a party where there would be you snuff out opposing views. America is about listening to each other, at least it used to be. And we have to create a world where we have some more kindness and we have some more compassion for each other and other nations. The current state of affairs has to end. We got to go forward in a new way. Thank you.